Hi friends, we are coming into a season where we are reminded to give thanks. So this practice is all about gratitude. This is about taking a moment in our busy day, our busy week, to just gently remind ourselves of all of the things and the people and the places in our lives that we are thankful for. Before we begin, I have returned to Melody Beattie's The Language of Letting Go. I'm just going to share with you another card today that is practicing gratitude, perfect for today. And it says, I will today practice gratitude. I will get in the habit of saying thank you, even for the problems in my life, because these challenges are valuable lessons I can learn from. Gratitude is the key that turns problems into blessings and the unexpected into gifts. So let's take a moment to settle into a gratitude meditation, and closing the eyes, finding that comfortable seat, remembering that you can choose to do this in a chair, or you can even be lying down on the mat. Relaxing the palms and perhaps choosing to open them up to receive energy in our practice. Or if you have had a frenzied day or week already, maybe turning those palms down to feel more grounded. Your choice. Let the breath flow naturally in through the nose and out through the nose. Begin to notice the rise and fall of each one. Begin to notice your spine growing a little taller with each breath, each inhale. And your shoulders relaxing with each exhale. Feel the belly expand with the breath. Maybe even placing a hand on the lower belly, and on your next breath, inhale deeply and feel that belly expand, and trace your breath upwards to your upper abdomen. Feel your chest rise, even up through your throat. And then slowly let it all sink back down, feeling the belly last contract. Mentally trace that breath again, inhaling. Feel each part grow and rise. As you exhale, drop those shoulders back. In your next breath, let the breath rise again, and when you reach the top, pause for a moment. Hold here, and then release. On your next breath, repeat to yourself, I am grateful. On On the next breath, either naming silently or aloud, find one thing you are grateful for in this moment. On the next breath, now think of a person in your life that you are grateful for in this moment. Sending that gratitude to them on your exhale. And on your next breath, now think of a place, whether it is in your home or somewhere you like to travel to that makes you happy, that you are grateful exists. Sending love and gratitude to that place. When we remind ourselves of our gratitudes, we release some of the anxiety, some of the worry and the fear that we are holding. We also take this moment to be thankful for ourselves, thankful for our lives, our health, thankful that our bodies were able to show up for this practice today. So take a moment, send gratitude to your body, inhaling, feel it flow and release. And on one more gratitude breath, now be thankful for your mind. Thankful for the way your mind works, how it carries you throughout your day, how it allows you to do the things that must be done, how it also allows you to care for others. Inhaling and exhale, being thankful that we are mentally entering this moment and embracing the present. One more breath of gratitude. This time, let's be thankful for our hearts. Thankful for the love that we nurture for others, for ourselves. Be thankful for your kind heart. Inhale and feel your heart center expand, expanding with love. And release. Opening the eyes. When you are are ready to return back to the space, you may continue to name your gratitudes, but we will also have opportunities through our practice to name them silently or aloud. Before we enter our gentle warm-up, let us give thanks with this prayer written by Australian artist and poet Lunig. Dear God, we give thanks for places of simplicity and peace. Let us find such a place within ourselves. We give thanks for places of refuge and beauty. Let us find such a place within ourselves. We give thanks for places of nature's truth and freedom, of joy, inspiration, and renewal, places where all creatures may find acceptance and belonging. Let us search for these places in the world, in ourselves, and in others. Let us restore them. Let us strengthen and protect them, and let us create them. May we mend this outer world according to the truth of our inner life, and may our souls be shaped and nourished by nature's eternal wisdom. Amen. Let's begin with some neck stretches. My neck is feeling pretty tense today, so I thought this would be a good way to start off. And if you are used to sitting in the same position for a long period of time, your neck and shoulders probably could use this stretch. So we're going to begin just by gently dropping the right ear down towards the shoulder. And let that shoulder just be loose. You can even just let the hand drop down to the floor. And just hold for a moment. And then just gently turn the head to look towards the shoulder. We're still dropping in that same direction. Just gently turn the head. Feel where that stretch changes. Turn the head back to face me and bring it back to center. Let's try the other side. Drop that left ear. Breathe into the stretch. Relax that left shoulder. Gently turn your gaze towards the shoulder. Turn your gaze back up and lift the head. And then begin to just gently roll that head around. So just start in one direction, letting the chin drop down. Not rolling too far back, just taking your gaze a little bit upwards. And work through any knots you might be feeling. A couple of times in one direction. Reversing directions when you're ready. And the next time your chin reaches your chest, just hold tall, just dropping the chin. And release back to center. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back. Circling. And roll the other way. Now we're going to do some shoulder shrugs to loosen up. So as we inhale, we're going to lift our shoulders tightly and hold up to our ears. As we exhale, we're going to exhale through the mouth and let the shoulders drop down. So inhale, lift and squeeze. And exhale, just let the weight of it drop right down. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, and exhale. Let's go ahead and this time add some bigger breaths and bigger arm movements. Inhale, lift, and let it go. Inhale, lift, reach, and inhale. This time interlacing the fingers, pressing all the way up to the ceiling. Now if this feels uncomfortable to interlace your fingers, go ahead and just grab one wrist. And then switch and grab the other and just gently pull on each side so you get that lengthening. Go ahead and whether your hands are interlaced or not, just bring them down in front. Pull that belly button in and round the back. And then let's inhale. Open up wide. Feel the shoulder blades coming towards each other. Heart lifting. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, open. And exhale, rounding. Inhale. Expand the rib cage and exhale. Pull that belly button in. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Gonna grab onto those hands again. Push those palms out and inhale. Lift up tall. And just let arms float down. Roll out your shoulders again. Let's take a couple of little twists each side before we come to all fours. So go ahead and just take your left hand to that opposite knee. Turn and look back over the shoulder. Stay nice and tall. Take a breath and inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Returning to the center. Other side. Same thing. Staying tall. Again through that spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Coming back to the center. One more. Now bringing the hands into the mat behind you. Go ahead and open that chest once again, pushing down into those palms. Pulling those shoulder blades again towards each other. And if you'd like to add a hip stretch, this is completely optional. You can start to lift your hips gently forward. There should be very little pressure on the knees. And go ahead and sink again, roll out the shoulders. And we're going to transition to all fours. To our tabletop here. Joints are stacked as always. Going through a couple of cat and cows. We should be used to these now, I think. So inhale, lift into cow, and exhale. Round into your cat. Feel free to add a little extra movement now if you like. Inhale, lift, and exhale. Round. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, rounding. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale, round. Coming back to all fours. Finding a child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. Just sit back and sink down. Take a big breath. Reach those hands forward. Know that you can come back to your child's pose anytime you choose. It is your resting pose. Back to all fours. Tuck your toes and lift those hips up into your first downward dog. Go ahead and give it a little walk out here. Pushing one heel at a time. A little warmth through the legs. Holding for a moment, press both heels towards the mat. And then let's try and warm up our hips a little bit here, our hip flexors. We're going to lift the right leg for three-legged dog. Just lift and bring it right back down. Other side, left leg lift. And if you'd rather not be in your downward dog for these, you can be also on all fours, just lifting and maybe trying to lift as high as the legs will go, but you can certainly do this move down here. Continuing to lift and lift, just alternating sides. Lift, one more each side, and lift. Come back to your downward dog, and begin to walk or step to the top of the mat into your forward fold. Take a moment, just dangle here, let it all go. Sway side to side. Shake out the head. Nod back and forth. Come up halfway. Flatten out your back. Round again. Soften your knees. And round all the way up, just dragging your arms and lifting your head last until you reach the top of the mat in your mountain pose. We are going to take a couple of chair poses here and work towards holding our chair and adding some twists. So make sure, first of all, your feet are hip distance apart, a little space between them. Get a good foundation. And inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, sink into your chair. Feel that weight placing the left first, and placing my elbow just into the thigh, just above the knee, pressing the palms together and sinking back into the heels. Nice open chest. Okay, come back to the center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back down to now the other side. Twist. Pushing the palms together, wide elbows. Sit back. To the center. Inhale, rise. One more time now. Each side. This time, if you like, you can keep the hands together, or you can begin to open up into beautiful chair twist. Hands back to prayer, center, and last side. Bring it down. Twist. Open up if you choose. Hands to prayer, to the center. Inhale, rise. Just let it go. Beautiful. Into our sun salutations. Always a great practice to pair with gratitude. For each salutation now, I challenge you again to think of something you're grateful for today. Something as simple as the sunshine, or the trees, or having a quiet morning. In mountain, feet again under the hips, palms open, rolling the shoulders back. Let's take a big breath. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and as you bring your hands to the heart, forward bend. Let the hands hang down for forward fold. Come up halfway. Fold again. And let's step the right leg all the way back, bringing the knee down. Finding our knees stacked over the ankle. Good alignment. Inhale, rise, or you can keep the hands down if you wish. Palms maybe together again. And let's bring the hands back down and take another little twist here. So again, if we're twisting to the left here, then elbows just above the knee, just pushing into the leg. Open chest. Come back to the center. Step back into child's pose. And breathe. Flowing through our chaturanga. Just taking it on our knees first. Modified plank. Sinking halfway down. Here's our crocodile. All the way down. Now lifting the chest for baby cobra. Pull the shoulders back. Round back to your child's pose. Trying that again. Back to plank. Elbows coming close in by your sides. Keeping the tops of the feet down as we lift the baby cobra. And back to child's pose. Going to bring now that right foot and just swing it forward. Help it along if it doesn't get to the top of the mat right away. Just walk it forward. Check out your alignment with your knee over your ankle. Inhale, rise. Palms together. And let's add our prayer twist I'm going to do that again. This time, if you'd like to take it up a little notch and challenge yourself, then we can stay on our toes once we're in our lunges and once we're in our plank. Your choice. You've seen it now once on your knees, so please feel free to drop your knees anytime. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to heart and we fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Let's step now, left leg back first. And now here's where you choose whether you're dropping the knee down or maybe you feel strong, you feel good, and you can rise up into your full crescent lunge. Beautiful and strong. Bringing the palms back down. Adding our twist, same as before. Even though we might be on our toes, we're still going to push the elbow into the thigh. Press the palms together to help open the chest. And go ahead and release back to the center. Step back to either child's pose or maybe downward dog. In downward dog, take a big breath. Get yourself re-centered here. Now here's where again you choose. Are you going to stay on your toes to go into your plank? Or are you going to drop to your knees? Start to shift your weight forward. Decide here. If this is too much, just lower the knees. If you are good on your toes, begin to sink down halfway, maybe coming all the way down. For the first one, I'm going to do that. And then pushing the tops of the feet down, keeping them down. Inhale and press all the way up into your cobra. And release. Tuck your toes and either come up through your knees on the mat or lift your knees, a little challenge here. Press through the hands back to your plank and lift up to downward dog. We're going to try that again. This time, if you're feeling even stronger, you can stay on those toes the whole time, on those feet. So in your plank, sinking halfway down, flipping the tops of the feet, and lifting into upward facing dog. So I'm keeping the legs off the mat. Now tucking those toes again. Lift back to downward dog. Bringing that left foot forward. Big step. Maybe dropping the back knee if that feels more comfortable. Or just rising up here to your full crescent lunge. Palms together. Down to the heart. One last twist. We're making these more challenging today, since we're building upon what we have done before. Pull your top shoulder back. And release down to the mat. And step your back leg now. Step all the way forward. Forward fold. Up halfway. And forward fold. Soften your knees. Inhale. Rise all the way up. And release. We are going to try a little balance next. And I've pulled this chair over just in case that's something you might need. So if you would like some kind of support, then feel free to grab a chair, or you can even come to a windowsill if you have these ones are a bit low, but if you have a higher sill, that would work too. We're going to try 2 balances, our tree pose, going into our star, our balancing star, 5-pointed star. Let's try our tree pose on our left side first. I am mirroring you, so you're going to shift all of your weight into that left foot, and if you need to hold on to the chair, go right ahead. And as we shift our weight, you don't need the chair, bring your hands to your hips. We're going to start to open up the right hip. And I'm on the toes here, so you can be on your toes. And just see how this feels. And if it feels good, start to lift that right foot. And we can place it either at the ankle, or if we have the flexibility, maybe bringing it up, further up on the thigh. All we want to do is avoid the knee. Doesn't matter how low or high it is, but we want to avoid the knee, not to press into the joint. Then we're going to bring palms together. I always associate this pose with gratitude, probably because we end up with prayer hands at this point. So if you have your hands in prayer, I would like you to again think of a gratitude and maybe say it out loud this time. I am grateful for. And once you have that gratitude, if you're able to, maybe begin to release it out into the world by lifting up your arms into your full expression of tree. Lift those branches. If you find yourself wavering, it helps to find a fixed point on the floor to gaze at. Usually about 6 to 8 feet in front of you. But if we've got our gaze fixed on a point, that will help us find some stability, some focus. Here's where we have a choice of either coming out of the pose, taking a little break and coming out the same way we came in, so that would be hands back down to the heart, and releasing the leg, or we can go right into star. So if your hands are lifted, go ahead and release that right leg. Bring it out to the side and begin to lean over to the left into your 5-pointed star or your starfish, sometimes it's called. Remember, the chair is always there for you. You can always grab onto it. Little lean. Beautiful. And just hold here. It's okay if you're shaking a little bit. It's all part of your abdominals working hard and your body working hard to stay upright. Take one more breath. And then inhale, lift. And release. All right, we started with what is usually the weaker side for most people, which is our left side. So now, perhaps this next side may be your stronger side. Each side is different, so if you find it doesn't feel consistent to you, that's completely normal. Our balance is always different from side to side. Let's try it out now by shifting our weight now into the right foot. Grabbing onto that support if you need it. Opening up the left hip. And lifting that foot anywhere on the leg other than the knee. Bringing the palms together. Beautiful. And once again, as you find that stability, as you find your focus, gazing at that point on the floor, repeat silently or out loud to yourself, I am grateful for. And I will share my gratitude. I am grateful for the life of a friend friend who passed away this week. Send your gratitude up into the air if you wish, out into the world. Beautiful trees. And decide if you're coming back down and releasing the leg for a little break, or you're challenging yourself by taking that left leg out and leaning over towards the right into that starfish. Finding the breath. It's easy to want to hold the breath in these poses. So let the breath still flow naturally. One more breath. And let it go. Release. Great work. As we are getting ready to come back down to the mat, let's take another pose associated with our prayer hands, which is our prayer squat. So this is something we have done before, I think with hip openers. And if you know you have knee issues, or you know that you won't be able to squat back comfortably or squat very far down, then take a forward fold first. Take it gentle by inhaling and then exhaling, folding all the way down first. Maybe even having a block or having something that you can maybe place under you and just begin to sit back. And even if that block, it might be for your hands even to have out here. And just sit back as far as you're able to and hold for a couple of breaths before you're ready to release. If you know you have no issues with the knees, then with your feet about a distance of the mat, inhale and bring the hands to prayer and begin to sink down, just sinking as you squat, adjusting those feet as you come down. Probably will need to pull them in. Pulling them in so we can hug our elbows with those knees as we get into that deep prayer squat. So we should feel some pressure. Your knees are hugging the elbows and your elbows are pushing out to open the hips, and also feel this expansion here in the chest. Feel that opening. Now lifting the chest. So if you find yourself starting to round and you're looking down, lift your head. Tall spine, and breathe deeply. I am grateful to be alive in this moment. Over time, I promise this will become more comfortable and will actually become a pose where you can actually gain some comfort in it. Release the hands and lift your hips first to safely get out of this, and then step back one at a time into your child's pose, gently lowering one knee at a time. We're going to take it up into downward dog to come into our pigeon pose, which is another hip opener. But if you already know that you may have some issues with the hips, then I'm going to give you an alternate option right away. And that is to do your supine pigeon or figure 4 stretch, which is placing one ankle, say right ankle, just above the left knee. And you can actually do this seated right here. If you place it here, place your hands behind And if you want to deepen that stretch, walk your foot in as you try to bring your chest closer to the leg, and you'll feel it. Or you can do the same stretch down on the mat, grabbing under that left thigh, pulling it towards you, feeling that sensation in the right side. So that is going to be your alternate if this pigeon pose is not working for you. So if we're trying it out, let's tuck our toes, lift into that downward dog. And let's start with the right side. Let's lift the right leg and bend that right knee. Pull that foot through, and we're going to try to place the shin down on the mat. Now, if you're almost there, but not quite, it's uncomfortable to straighten out that back leg, try bending this back leg at 90 degrees, creating a hurdler's stretch. So both legs are almost at 90 degrees, and we can stay right here, maybe start to fold forward. But if you're in your full pigeon, your back leg will be straight back behind you. So if you see any kind of bending or skewed leg, go ahead and just take it out to the side and bend the knee. Let's take a big breath here. Inhale. And if it feels good to you, begin to fold forward. And relax into this wonderful hip opener. You can stay here as long as feels good to you. This is one where I do recommend that you stay for at least a few breaths to get the most out of the stretch. And coming back to the hands, tucking those back toes. You can either drag this front leg back to your child's pose or lift right back to your downward dog. Now we're going to lift the same leg, right leg again, and bend the knee, but this time open that knee outwards, like you're trying to open up your right hip to the side wall. Just a little counter stretch here. Open and bring it back in and down. Let's try the other side now. Left leg lifts, bend the knee, pull that leg through, laying the shin down. Checking out the back leg, do we need to bend the knee out to the side, or can we keep it right behind us? Staying tall for a moment, lengthen the spine again. Inhale and exhale. Walk yourself down, relaxing the head. I'm going to take about 5 breaths here. And after about 4 or 5 breaths, coming back to the hands again, tucking the back toes, coming back to child's pose or right into downward dog. And then we all meet in downward dog, and let's lift again that left leg, bend the knee, and pull that
that thigh open. Taking the gaze slightly under that left arm as well as we do this. Bring it back to the center and down. And now we're going to gently return the knees to the mat. Sit back to child's pose. And come up to the hands, sit down to one side, swing your leg around the front, coming into our final stretches. Some forward folds and some side stretches. We're going to start with our legs wider than the mat. We're going to go ahead and tuck in our left foot. And let's go ahead and turn a little twist of the body to face that right leg. Big inhale and exhale, fold over. Just a couple of breaths here. Slowly rolling back up. Now this time, keeping our body centered, let's slide that right hand down the leg and grab anywhere where you can start to lean into your side stretch. So it might be the shin, the calf, or it might be the ankle. Maybe you can grab the foot and let now your other arm rise up. Perhaps it's here, maybe it's coming over the ear, pointing towards the toes. Our body stays open, and we feel now that stretch has shifted into towards the back of our side. And inhale, lift, and release. Nice. And let's go ahead and try out the other side. So right foot comes in. Doesn't have to be tucked all the way in, so if there's a little space there, that's totally fine. You can also do it with the legs still stretched out if that feels better to you. Little twist of the body, facing that left foot. Inhale and exhale. Rising back up. Little twist back to the center. And the next breath now, sliding the left hand down as far as it wants to go. Leaning into that stretch. Top shoulder pulled back as we lift the top arm. Maybe bringing it over, only working with our own mobility and our own flexibility. Either way, wherever your top arm is, you are going to feel the stretch, so it really doesn't matter. And lifting back out of it. Opening up the legs, let's take a forward fold right in the middle here. So big breath, inhale, and exhale. You can just bring your hands right in front. And I encourage you to try to maintain a flat back for as long as you can. And if you have a block, you can elevate those hands or those arms. Otherwise, maybe your forearms are down on the mat, or maybe the hands are, or your fingertips. Again, doesn't matter. You go to your level of comfort. Then beginning to walk the hands further out if you can. Another way for your placement for your hands is perhaps just grabbing onto the ankles or the big toes or the feet, and you can maybe pull yourself, your shoulders, your chest closer down towards the mat. Holding for another breath. Inhale. And beginning to slowly roll back up. Nice job. Now we're going to come all the way down to the mat. So go ahead and bend those knees. Grab under the thighs and safely roll yourself down. Let the head rest. Pull those knees into the chest. Big hug here. Rock side to side. Let those feet come back to the mat. Let's bring the feet the width of the mat and open the arms wide and just begin to gently drop your knees from one side to the other. And as you drop them, maybe turning your head in the opposite direction of the knees and shifting. Little release for that lower back. Coming back to the center. And go ahead and bring the knees back together. Lift them. And let's go into Happy Baby, our final stretch. Grabbing either the calves, the ankles, or the big toes or the feet. If you're grabbing the feet, push down and open up those hips wide. And if you think about it, this is a lot like our prayer squat. It's just we are lying down on the mat, so that takes some pressure off of the joints. But we are still doing the same opening of those hips. Feel your tailbone on the mat, maybe add a little rock side to side. And release. All the way down. Now finding your Shavasana. Maybe you're coming into butterfly with soles of the feet together and knees open. This is optional right at the very end. And if this feels good to you, this can be your Shavasana. This can be a comfortable pose for some. And a way to remain open still, even in these final moments. Closing the eyes as you find that comfortable Shavasana that works for you. Sinking into these last breaths of our practice. To close our practice, we take in words by Brother David Steindl-Rast. Gratefulness brings joy to my life. How could I find joy in what I take for granted? So I stop taking for granted, and there is no end to the surprises I find. A grateful attitude is a creative one, because in the final analysis, opportunity is the gift within the gift of every moment. The opportunity to see and hear and smell and touch and taste with pleasure. There is no closer bond than the one that gratefulness celebrates, the bond between giver and thanksgiver. Everything is a gift.
Grateful living is a celebration of the universal give and take of life, a limitless yes to belonging. Can our world survive without gratefulness? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: to say an unconditional yes to the mutual belonging of all beings will make this a more joyful world. This is the reason why yes is my favorite synonym for God. Give yourself the time that you need to gently emerge out of your deep state of relaxation. Allow those joints to find small movement on their own time. Let each part of your body come back into this space, this physical space. Bending the knees and slowly rolling to one side. Take a moment here to reconnect mind to body. And when you are ready, make your way back to the top of the mat, finding a comfortable seat. Thank you for joining me again on the mat. Thank you for sharing your practice and sharing your gratitude today. I am grateful for all of you who watch these videos, and I look forward to sharing more practices with you. Let's conclude with 3 big breaths of gratitude once again. Inhaling and exhaling to the heart. Breathing more deeply. And biggest breath yet. Peace be with you.